Hello everybody, this is the monthly trend scan of the futures market here for the month of April. Let's have a first look at the US equities market, starting with the S&P, the ES futures. So we have here on the weekly, we've got an S1 pattern. So we've got a nice horizontal line, the base, and we've got a breakout, but it doesn't fulfill the rules. Well, first, we don't have a test bar, and second, well, we don't have a touch of the 21 moving average. This is very important, and if you look back at charts, it's actually important that we get a touch before there can be a good follow through. Well, we had some rally here happening over the last couple of weeks, but it doesn't look very strong. Well, the overall higher time frames are bullish, remain bullish, the monthly and the quarterly, and the war in Ukraine doesn't show a big imprint on the chart, right? So because the rules are not fulfilled for this important pattern, I don't think it's actually time for this to move higher. I'm still bullish US equities, but I think we might see another sell-off. Now the rules are actually fulfilled for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq had a nice test bar, and it had its touch already of the 21 moving average. But as well here, we see a little follow through after the rebreak of the base, and we even see how the bulls get rejected by the 200 moving average here on the daily chart. I think the best chart to look at for US dollar strength and for US equity strength, and to see to get a good idea on timing of this, I think it's the Russell futures. And here on the weekly chart, we've got a very good S1 pattern as well. The rules are fulfilled, right? We're nicely testing, we nicely find support here on the 21, but the bulls have not been strong enough to re-break this line. Now this is a great chart to look for a general long signal on US equities or equities in general, where we need a rebreak of the line, and this is basically what I'm looking at here with this asset class. If this doesn't happen, I remain bearish, and we could see that this leads to a failure of a pattern, and a pattern failure, well, that's a very bearish, it's a counter trend signal, right? A very bearish signal, and this could actually lead then to a second move lower, which would allow a good number of trading opportunities going short, right? Let's have a look at metals now, where we get some mixed signals. We had this nice run up here on the weekly, like the 2 months run up, which did not break to a new high. So we're still stuck here in the range, but we've made some stop run moves here, taking out these levels. So now we're in pullback mode, and we don't see a lot of bullishness. We can see it clearly on the daily that price is going sideways in a tight range. I'm a bit concerned because we see weakness here, right? We don't see not many activity, and we don't see a lot of bull strength. So this could actually go in both ways in such a situation, right? We could get a volatility expansion in both ways. We'll have a look at that in the end. But the US dollar index, the DX, indicates that we might actually see a sell-off, a serious sell-off here in the precious metals, gold, especially gold and silver. So we might get here as well a second leg down. Well, this leg could bring us down to the 1,800 level, so 1,800. It's always good to look at the higher time frames. What that would mean? Well, that would mean a retest of the midline here, right? And that happens quite often. It's not uncommon that we retest this important support. Now silver looks very similar. Let's have a look at palladium, because palladium shows signs of weakness as well. Well, we saw a huge bull run here, right? In that went in parallel basically at the same time then with gold and silver. And this bull run, it's a huge run, right? From 1,800 to 3,400 in palladium. Well, this has broken to a new high. We had an S1 pattern too, but we got an immediate rejection, right? A big rejection bar. So that does, sorry, that does not look very bullish either. Now, what about the energies? Well, crude oil is an important futures in the energy asset class, right? And well, we again here as well here we had a big up run, right? A spike of the 200 here on the monthly, a spike of the 200 on the quarterly, meeting serious price resistance. So we had foreseen that, right? And we had foreseen as well that once this happens, that we might get a pullback, a deeper pullback. And I think this is what we're going to see here, that price pulls back like into the 70. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a pullback into the 70, 60-ish, or even down here 55 area to retest this line. So this makes sense in light with gold and silver, that we might actually see lower prices here in these commodities. Now, the exception is natural gas. Well, natural gas has just recently turned around from being in a downtrend to an uptrend. So there's a lot of catching up to happen here. That's an S1 pattern. We've broken this important high, and now we're basically going for the next high, right? Which is the next level. Well, this one, and then, well, let's just put a line here, this level, and then we are going for the next level. So these are really nice top run levels, and we could get, like, in light of the quarterly chart that is still down, we could get a counter trend rally. And I think I've got a good I've got the impression that we're basically bottoming out here, and that this is a turnaround situation. A lot of bullishness here. Well, this might actually be another pattern just forming. And so from all those asset classes we looked at, well, natural gas is the big exception, and I see a lot of bullish potential. Now, this is the interest rate future, the US 5-year T-note, where we see this strong sell-off, right? Huge sell-off within an overall very strong quarterly uptrend. So this sell-off, well, we're way overextended, and we're pushing hard against the 21. That's a test of 21, a deep test. Now finding a resistance at the prior price levels. Well, I'm looking for long opportunities here, right? To trade a snapback here, snapback to the moving averages. Now, metals and energies, except natural gas, it depends a lot on what is doing the US dollar, because the US dollar had shown weakness over the last over a good number of months here. Well, recently it's showing signs of strength, right? So this is the Corona spike bar. That was basically the top here of this chart. We see it better here on the quarterly. That was a very important top. We've got a wick high, and that's an S1 pattern. That's a very bearish pattern. Now it really looks like the DX bulls want to break this level. That's a very important level. If this level gets broken, well, then this has become a pattern failure, and a pattern and a bearish a failure of a bearish pattern. Well, that is very bullish, and bullish in this sense means that the US dollar, if price moves up, it's getting stronger, right? And a stronger dollar, well, has a negative impact on commodities like gold, silver, and crude oil. And as they are already in a weak position, right, metals and energies, we might actually see a sell-off that might then produce a second leg lower. So it really depends on what the US dollar is doing, the US dollar index. If this turns around and breaks the red line and continues lower, well, then we will actually see gold, silver, and gold and silver get on fire again. Platinum as well, and palladium. So a lot depends on this. Well, this is tradable too, right? It looks bullish. This is already this is already starting to trend nicely. This is a nicely trending chart. The daily is an EMA trend, and well, this allows to take trades, right, in a long in direction of long. So let's see, we're shooting, this is the level, and I'm looking for a rebreak of the line or a rejection. If it gets rejected here, well, this obviously will allow good short opportunities, and this would be front running a potential rebreak of the red line to the downside. So good opportunities as always when the markets move. Volatility is the trader's best friend. Thank you.